Welcome to a very, very special Gamecock Bourbon Podcast episode. This is our video journal live from the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. Think of this as a cool, unique opportunity to see a little behind the scenes of all of the action that goes on at the Gamecock Bourbon Society. It's also a sneak peek into the world famous Kentucky Bourbon Trail. You'll get to see some of the awesome distilleries, and then we end with a fantastic game to watch our Gamecocks beat the Kentucky Wildcats.
One eternity later.
So after a 7-hour or so drive that took me through Spartanburg, Asheville, and Knoxville, I was pretty worn out. And then as I was getting closer to Lexington, I saw off in the distance this beautiful beacon of light on the highway, Buc-ee's. Now, when I pulled up to Buc-ee's, I was excited beyond all measure. I tried my best to keep the trip quick, but dear God, it's impossible to do. I mean, I'm telling you, this is the Disney World of gas stations. The place was slammed, crowded, people were everywhere. I managed to grab the world famous beaver nuggets, and it was enough to keep me going for the rest of the trip. And let me just say this. I know that later in this episode, Garrett and I are going to talk about bathrooms. Spoiler alert, Buc-ee's is officially the all-time greatest. You have to go, trust me. So I pulled into the hotel. I went and checked in. I saw very few Gamecock fans that early in the week, but what I did see was just as exciting. There was a special treat waiting for me in the lobby. Okay, so I just got to the hotel, and as I was walking in, they have Maker's Mark reps who were making free drinks, and apparently they're all you can drink. So you know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to walk right back down to that lobby after I unpack and grab a couple more of these Kentucky Mules. But I am excited to be in Lexington, so let's get this party started. It was actually pretty fitting that they were serving Maker's Mark because, as many of you may know, their president, Rob Samuels, is a Gamecock alum. So I think that's some pretty cool stuff. So after refilling my cocktail, I started to unpack. And one thing that I promised myself was that I was going to make sure to do it as neatly and tidy as possible so that way there was no chaos in the hotel. And so I laid all of my clothes out to just make sure that I had plenty of stuff for the week. And turns out that I packed way, way too much. I had plenty of Gamecock gear, a lot of GBS branded merchandise, and then of course some bourbon t-shirts. Needless to say, I was ready to go. Once I got settled in, I ordered some amazing room service. Great meal, turkey club was incredible. I had an amazing IPA, wonderful stuff. So I set up my recording equipment for a Gamecock Bourbon check-in with my good buddy Garrett. And honestly, I just thought of this as a cool opportunity to show everybody a little behind the scenes of what some of our conversation looks like as we're planning episodes and we're preparing for some of the content that we make. But I do want to warn you, we get way off topic. But man, I miss Garrett a lot on this trip.
I guess I just miss my friend.
All right, everybody who has been following the video log, I am logged on from the hotel here with Garrett. Garrett, I know that you knew that I was doing this little kind of side project as we're traveling to Kentucky Bourbon Trail. I miss you, first off. I miss you so much. I wish you were here. I know that you're working. Somebody's got to make the money. But
100%.
For all of the Gamecock Bourbon fans who are listening and watching this random video log, what do you want to say to them?
I just want to say, hope you guys are ready for this weekend. I feel like the Gamecocks are going to surprise a lot of people. We're going to give you some behind-the-scenes access of what we do on a podcast week, and hopefully you guys enjoy just seeing a little bit of behind the scenes of what actually goes on into making these episodes.
Okay, if you were driving through some like random stretch of whatever town, I'm not going to say a random town because I don't want to offend those people in that, small, crappy
Easily South
town.
Carolina.
I am not going to hate on any cities, but if you were going through maybe a rough part of town and you have to stop and get gas and you're looking around, maybe you got to go to the bathroom, you drank too much coffee, you ate, that Taco Bell, and you got to go right now. You're not going to pick willingly a Spinks. You're not going to willingly pick the BP like you said or an Amoco. No. But if you see that QT off in the distance, that is what you're driving to. And I know it may not be the best of the best, but it's guaranteed to be a pretty clean bathroom. You're going to expect similar things. And in a lot of ways, they're kind of like the Chick-fil-A of gas stations. They got pretty good staff. They're good service.
Well,
so that to me, that's the lighthouse.
And it's so funny you say the lighthouse. I think this is a stupid way to say it, but anytime I stop anywhere and get gas, like if I go to QT, like I know it's like a safe space. Like I know like when I plug in my car to get gasoline, I don't have to worry about getting robbed at gunpoint. I can go in the gas station. The attendants are always nice. Even if you go in overnight or like during the day, it doesn't matter. It is like a lighthouse. Like anytime I go there, and this is so random that we're talking about gas stations, but yeah, I mean, I'm going QT. I mean, it's a safe space. You're never going to catch me in a Spinks. You're never going to catch me in a BP.
No.
Because I don't know. Like I'm sorry. It's a safe space. I'm going to QT.
And if you do go to those bathrooms, oh God, please help you because you're going to like come back. Yeah, you're gonna get like hepatitis or something just from touching the sink. And the way those things work, and I never thought that we'd be on here talking about bathrooms, but you wanted to see what behind the scenes looks like with us. This is our personality. This is our conversations. The worst thing in the world is when you wash your hands after going to the bathroom, and then you still have to touch the freaking doorknob on the way out, which majority of people. Men, as they are leaving, probably are not going to wash their hands. And so the few of us who do wash our hands, we still have to try to like use our elbows or like hope that somebody opens it for you. And that is rough. And I don't know why, but it's so much worse when it's in one of those really sketchy bathrooms. Oh, yeah. QT's a little bit better. I also want to say this. Right. I was talking to somebody about it the other day. There are a lot of men who go to the bathroom and pretend to wash their hands. I don't know if you've seen this, but I talked to my coworker. Weird. He has seen this. He has seen people turn on the water but not put their hands in just because they're folding under societal pressure of, hey, you should probably wash your hands before you leave. And then they would pretend to dry their hands and leave. I see that at my job a lot because we work with students. I see it a lot.
Oh, no.
And it's disturbing, but I want to say to those people, if you happen to be one of those people, it takes just as much time to actually wash your hands as it does to pretend to wash your hands. So I don't know what you're doing. Just wash your hands, people. That's all I got to say.
I mean, I don't even know what I would do if I was in the bathroom and I see like someone faking out the sink, like, they're like putting their hands in and they just eat it. I think I'd be the type of person that's like, dude, what are you doing? You didn't even wash your hands. Like that's, especially after COVID, like that to me, I didn't even know people like that existed. But that is why we have rules in society, because that is disgusting.
It really is.
Oh, my God.
And, it's almost, if you're going to do that, if you're going to leave without washing your hands, you might at least have confidence and walk out of there with your dirty hands so that everybody can see. Don't pretend. Don't try to fake people out, because you know what? If the people walk out and they don't wash their hands, at least I can see, that's somebody I don't want to shake their hand.
100%.
That's all I gotta say.
What are we saying? 100%. I mean, dude, that is honestly shocking. And I hope UC students are a little bit better than that. I mean,
Please clean up. After that mess of conversation about bathrooms with Garrett and plus some actual productive pieces, I did go ahead and went to bed, and it felt like I just went to sleep when all of a sudden the worst sound in the world goes off, and I felt miserable. Good morning. It's, like 6 a.m. I actually slept in a little bit. Normally when we're at home, we get up at like 4 to be in the gym. And even though I am sleeping in an extra 2 hours, the first thing I'm going to do this morning is go straight to the fitness center, check out what equipment they have, because there's, no days off. When it comes to prioritizing your mental health, your physical health, and just that emotional well-being, you have to be a healthy person, and it takes consistency. And so even though I'm on vacation, we're still going to hit the gym. I guess I need to get woke up and get ready to get started. I chose my workout outfit specifically because we're heading to Maker's Mark for a day of touring, tasting, and probably some heavy drinking. And so I just wanted it to be a reminder to hit the gym hard and earn my bourbon. I know a lot of people would probably take a vacation from the gym while out on a trip like this, but to me, I guess I just don't see it that way. I believe that when it comes to your healthy living, to staying consistent with whatever your physical goals are, it's an everyday thing. I mean, of course, take rest days, but when it's a lifestyle, not just a diet or not just some, workout plan that you're trying for a couple of weeks, it's a consistent thing. And in the long run, all of those small days where you get up even when you don't feel like it and you accomplish something first thing in the morning by hitting the gym hard, it just really sets the tone for your whole day. Needless to say, I think I really earned my bourbon today.
Boy, I'm feeling this. Ooh, my head's gonna be sore in the morning.
After killing myself in the gym for a little bit, I was sweating my ass off. I went and grabbed some coffee at the hotel Starbucks, and I prefer my coffee black. I know that may not be a popular choice, but if you prefer it any other way, let's have a heated debate, a friendly heated debate in the comments below. Tell me how you take your coffee, and I am going to argue with you to tell you that black is just so much better. I had the amazing privilege of getting to hang out with the members of the Alumni Association all week long. I just want to say that the staff and the alumni VIPs were some of the most amazing people I've ever met. I got to meet people from all walks of life. They were all so kind and generous, and I just want to say to them, thank you for having me tag along. And also, I really feel like I made some lifelong friends on this trip. So the trip to Makers was about an hour, but when you are on a decked out Sprinter van with great company, time flies. I mean, we jumped into conversation about bourbon history. I was able to share my passion about bourbon and had a lot of great questions. So by the time that we pulled into Maker's Mark, I kind of feel like I already showed my expertise a little bit and made myself stand out a little bit. So I was excited about that opportunity. Makers itself was amazing. We waited for the tour and we found our way to this great cocktail bar, and boy, am I glad we did. I'm telling you, Makers delivered the best old-fashioned that I have ever had, and our group seemed to unanimously agree with that. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. I want to go back just for the old-fashioned. I followed that up with this cocktail called the Gold Rush. First time I'd ever tried it, and it was awesome. Very cool stuff. Just happened to down it in enough time to start the tour. And guys, I am a sucker for history. You know that I love history, and this tour at Maker's Mark did not disappoint in any way. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'll say this. Everybody knows that I love Buffalo Trace. I've talked about how incredible their tour is, but Makers was far better by a long shot. I mean, they absolutely put Buffalo Trace to shame with this tour that they gave us. And the coolest part, I think, is at the end, we got to end the tour with this tasting. We got to try their exclusive distillery release only called the Toasted Marshmallow. And it was so good that all of us in our group bought a bottle. The coolest part of it was that I got to dip the bottle myself, and I think I did a pretty decent job of it. That is going to be a bottle that I keep for a long, long time. After we visited Maker's Mark, we headed straight over to dinner. I got an opportunity to get dressed. I put on a nice blazer, was prepared for the evening. We headed to downtown Lexington for one of the best steaks I've ever had in my life. And I do want to give the disclaimer, yes, Hall's Chop House still remains number one on the best steaks I've ever had, but this was certainly a close second. At dinner, I was able to enjoy some great conversation, and the highlight maybe of the entire trip, I was able to get a pour of the Woodford Double Double. All in all, the first couple days of this trip were amazing, and while I don't have time to cover everything here because we do some incredible fun stuff, especially on game day, be looking for part 2 of our video series. It's going to come out probably later this week, and you'll get to see the tailgate, you'll get to see some behind the scenes of the game, and hopefully I got some pretty interesting commentary of Buffalo Trace while we're there. I love you guys, and I appreciate you watching this. Go Cox.